If you do this to a narcissist, they will feel deep pain and will commit suicide. Hey there, lovely folks. Welcome back to our video. Today, we're delving deep into the fascinating world of what happens when a narcissist faces rejection. We'll explore why thwarting a Hoover maneuver can be a powerful strategy for breaking free from narcissistic manipulation. Ultimately, the key to breaking the cycle of abuse lies in your choice and your ability to disregard a narcissist's relentless pursuit. Much like the Hoover vacuum cleaner, narcissists exert considerable effort to draw their victims back into their sphere of influence. However, when their attempts to Hoover are rebuffed, it often triggers heightened aggression in their gaslighting tactics, bruising their fragile ego and fueling their narcissistic rage. The more steadfast you are in establishing and upholding firm boundaries, the better you can safeguard your self-respect and embark on a journey of healing from the abuse. Despite their persistent efforts at hoovering, narcissists will eventually relent if they repeatedly face rejection. Each attempt at hoovering is meticulously crafted to manipulate you into compliance with their desires. The concept of a narcissistic void suggests that individuals with narcissistic personality disorder experience a profound sense of emptiness and lack of authentic identity. They rely on a steady stream of narcissistic supply to fill this void and validate their inflated sense of self-worth. Therefore, even after you've severed ties or established clear boundaries, hoovering serves as a means for them to assert dominance and reaffirm their perceived control. Regrettably, the narcissist bent on hoovering often perceives their deceitful conduct as acceptable, even encouraged. You may find yourself hesitating to confront the aftermath of rejecting them. Perhaps you fear exacerbating the situation or subjecting yourself to further physical or emotional abuse. Yet, ignoring these persistent hoovering behaviors is paramount for extricating yourself from an abusive relationship and prioritizing your well-being. It's important to recognize that rebuffing a narcissist's bid for dominance won't immediately garner their respect or concern for your welfare. Narcissists typically don't handle rejection well, regardless of its necessity. Whether the rejection is genuine or merely perceived, narcissists may exhibit the following behaviors when their attempts at hoovering fall short. 1. Persistent hoovering. Upon your initial rejection of a narcissist's advances, expect them to persist in their efforts. They don't truly honor your decision. Rather, they anticipate your eventual capitulation to their demands. However, if they sense your resolve in ignoring their tactics, they may escalate and alter their hoovering tactics. Unfortunately, if there's a history of on-again, off-again dynamics, this only reinforces their stalking behaviors. 2. A torrent of apologies. Some narcissists inundate their victims with apologies as part of their hoovering strategy. They may utter phrases like, "I deeply regret causing you pain," attempting to convey sincerity. They might promise, "I'll never do it again. Please just talk to me." Alternatively, they might show a semblance of accountability with statements such as, "I acknowledge my frequent outbursts. I realize I need to manage my anger better. I'm sorry, it won't happen again." Enduring these apologies in the midst of a toxic relationship can be immensely challenging. However, it's crucial to remember that actions speak louder than words. While narcissists may articulate remorse, their past conduct is the true indicator. Do you genuinely believe they will rein in their narcissistic tendencies? Can you trust them to foster kindness, tranquility, and empathy in the future? 3. Disregarding your rejection. Narcissists may adopt a facade of indifference when confronted with rejection. Even if you've distanced yourself, they'll feign ignorance, gaslighting you into believing your rejection never occurred. This tactic aims to portray them as unruffled and unaffected, as if your actions hold no sway over them. They aim to diminish the significance of your boundaries, making you question your own perception. In practice, this manifests as continued communication from them, as if the rejection never transpired. They might increase their efforts to contact you, attempting to maintain the illusion of normalcy. Their persistent pursuit highlights their inability to respect your boundaries, revealing their manipulative nature. 4. The narcissistic storm of fury. As you continue to evade a narcissist, the likelihood of their anger boiling over increases. Narcissists crave control in every aspect of their relationships. Thus, even a hint that someone else might be establishing healthy boundaries can deeply unsettle them, triggering intense reactions. Narcissistic rage can manifest in various forms, ranging from explosive outbursts to calculated, insidious maneuvers. It might be a sudden eruption of violent tantrums, or a sustained campaign of subtle manipulation aimed at undermining your self-esteem and confidence. However, it's crucial to understand that this rage isn't merely about expressing frustration. Instead, it serves as a manipulative tool, a meticulously orchestrated performance designed to intimidate and unsettle others. Weaponizing their anger, they aim to keep you off kilter and perpetually anxious. The narcissist desires to instill guilt within you for disregarding their seemingly benevolent gestures. Their sole objective is to provoke a reaction from you, and they'll employ any means necessary to achieve it. Through these tactics, they seek to regain the upper hand and ensnare you further in their toxic web of deceit. 5. Appeasing your desires, manipulating your heart. In desperate bids to salvage a crumbling relationship, narcissists may resort to dramatic gestures. They might unexpectedly appear at your doorstep with an engagement ring, despite vehemently opposing marriage in the past. Alternatively, they could send a photo from a therapist's office, feigning a newfound willingness to seek help after months or even years of resistance. For those emotionally invested, these grandiose displays of change can be incredibly tempting to believe. However, it's vital to recognize that these acts are often veiled forms of love bombing, designed to lure you back into their sphere of influence. 6. Tarnishing your image. When feeling sidelined, some narcissists retaliate by tarnishing your reputation to garner sympathy and attention for themselves. They strive to portray themselves as the virtuous one, while painting you as the villain in the narrative of the relationship. This smear campaign may involve spreading falsehoods or twisting your truths against you. Vulnerabilities shared in confidence could be exploited, such as citing your parental anxieties to discredit you, suggesting you weren't truly committed to parenting. It's a heartbreaking manipulation tactic aimed at sowing doubt and discord, all while positioning themselves as the savior figure for your children. 7. Shifting the blame onto you. When faced with rejection, narcissists often resort to avoidance and projection. Unable to fathom a legitimate reason for your refusal to engage, they twist the narrative to paint you as the villain. Through their distorted lens, you're the heartless one, indifferent and unwilling to salvage the relationship. Suddenly, you're the scapegoat for all their woes. Recognize this tactic for what it is, a cunning ploy to divert attention away from their own shortcomings. By shifting the blame onto you, they evade accountability and preserve their inflated ego. 8. Swiftly jumping into another relationship. Narcissists crave constant attention and validation, known as narcissistic supply. Instead of persistently attempting to reel you back in, they may channel their energy into swiftly moving on. This behavior is why narcissists often boast a history of rapid, intense relationships. They despise solitude and perpetually seek someone to fulfill their insatiable need for admiration. Moreover, they hope that flaunting their new relationship will provoke jealousy in you. While it may be hurtful and bewildering to witness their rapid rebound, remember that it's a reflection of their inability to foster genuine, mutually respectful connections. They are only interested in satisfying their own desires. 9. Resorting to gifts as a last-ditch effort. In a last-ditch effort to cope with rejection, some narcissists may resort to giving gifts. These offerings can carry various meanings. They might signify remorse, a purported change in behavior, or simply a desperate bid to regain your attention. It's akin to a form of love bombing, where the narcissist inundates you with affection and material possessions in an attempt to manipulate your emotions. Interestingly, these lavish gifts often surface during tumultuous periods in the relationship. There's a deliberate motive behind this gesture. The narcissist employs these gifts as a distraction, diverting attention away from the underlying issues plaguing the relationship. It's imperative to recognize this tactic for what it is, an ostentatious display that fails to address the fundamental problems at the core of the relationship. 10. Self-destructive behaviors. Occasionally, when faced with rejection, narcissists may engage in self-destructive behaviors that harm themselves. For instance, covert or vulnerable narcissists may resort to self-harm or even contemplate suicide when they feel spurned. Such responses are deeply concerning and warrant immediate professional intervention. In an attempt to cope with their emotional anguish, some narcissists may resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as substance abuse, disordered eating patterns, gambling addiction, or other detrimental habits. This behavior often serves as a desperate plea for attention and assistance, underscoring the critical importance of seeking professional help and support. 11. Orchestrating dramatic crises and continuous emergencies. A telltale sign of narcissistic hoovering is the perpetual involvement in dramatic crises. You might receive distressing messages about a sudden medical emergency, a gravely ill family member, escalating despair, or the impending demise of a cherished pet, accompanied by a request for your emotional support or presence. Dealing with these fabricated scenarios can be particularly challenging. The narcissist relies on your inherent compassion and concern for their well-being, leveraging your empathy as a means to maintain contact and manipulate your emotions. 12. Perpetuating the victim role. Even in the absence of direct communication, narcissists often persist in portraying themselves as victims when questioned about the breakup. If they still have avenues to reach your family or mutual acquaintances, they seize every opportunity to malign your character while exalting their own innocence and virtue. Coping with the narcissist's persistent hoovering attempts can be emotionally taxing and intricate. Understanding their tactics can empower you to safeguard your mental well-being and resist their manipulative grasp. Remember, prioritizing your mental and emotional health is paramount, and resisting their efforts to ensnare you in their web of manipulation is essential. I trust this video provided valuable insights into narcissistic behavior and strategies employed upon facing rejection. If you found the information informative or engaging, please remember to like, comment, and share this video with others who may benefit. Additionally, don't forget to subscribe for more compelling content. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you for your assistance.